how has your relationship with your parents, how has it helped to shape, the way you do things, especially when you are not within the family, when you are out of the surrounding where they can reach you?
Personally, for me, I think I have two answers to this question.
Okay.
Coming from, a Christian background, the Christian angle.
Yeah.
Aside, yes, obviously your parents do take you to church, you go for Sunday school, you're being taught, all those Christian patterned life.
Yeah.
So it's part of, the whole parenting. So yes, it's already instilled, it's already there.
Yeah.
But outside home, there are people that, once they leave home, they just drop it there, carry everything and just, drop at home and become someone else.
Yeah.
Then I would say at this point, this is where self-discipline comes in, because your parents would train you, the church would train you, the society would train you, you would learn from all aspects. But then it's now left for you to, decide, okay, I'm coming from this route. This is what I was taught. I'm going to hold on to this. I think I feel comfortable with it. But you see this one, I don't feel comfortable with it. I'm dropping it for whosoever has it, whether church or my parents or whosoever. I don't care. I don't need this.
Kind of personal conviction.
Exactly.
Well, welcome to Relationship Tales series once again. And we're here to enlighten the public on things that pertains to relationship, as we've said last time. And on this basis, it cuts across all forms, of relationship, ranging from colleagues, work colleagues, friends, well-wishers, families, and even as it has to do with romantic relationships. So on this particular edition of Relationship Tales, we have on the show a very vibrant lady. I wouldn't want to just mention and say, okay, Gen Z, but yeah, just so you know. So we want to have an idea, of how, they perceive relationship in different dimensions, how they've experienced it, and how we can be able to relate with the public and other Gen Zs and other young people, in terms of building their relationship life and making it something that is worthwhile in different aspects of life. So, I want you to sit tight and enjoy this series as we begin. So, first and foremost, my name is Prince Wealth, popularly known, and I am the author of Relationship Tales, as you may have known. And if you are just new to this channel, I want you to know that I am the author of this particular relationship series as a whole. And here with me is a wonderful lady. Her name is Golden. And so we are going to be getting a lot of golden insights, in this particular edition. So you're going to roll with us. Thank you very much. And Golden, you are welcome to Relationship Tales series.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to jump right straight into the discussion that we have for today. And, a lot of things that pertains to relationship that I want us to touch. And we are going to start from this. While I was in the university, I happened to be among the leadership of a particular lodge, right? And something happened one particular day. A man came all the way from Lagos because the daughter had an issue, so he wanted to help to sort the issue, right? And then we were present. And along the line, something happened, and this man actually told us in full view of everyone. He says, I know my daughter. Actually, that day, the daughter was wearing a very flowing gown, and we are all surprised because that's not her culture. When it comes to dressing, that's not the way she dresses. So, also, to double it, to double her sin, she actually had to tell us that we should collect so amount from the father for her rent, and then we'll give her, the remainers. What caught my attention was that the father was so sure he was sounding so sure of the daughter, not knowing that the daughter has gone haywire. That brings me to different scenarios that I've experienced while counseling many young people. And I want to relate the question to you as a young person and as a Gen Z. How has your relationship with your parents, how has it helped to shape, the way you do things, especially when you are not within the family, when you are out of the surrounding where they can reach you? How has their relationship with you, how has it been?
Personally, for me, I think I have two answers to this question.
Okay.
Coming from, a Christian background, the Christian angle.
Yeah, very important.
Aside, yes, obviously your parents do take you to church, you go for Sunday school, you're being taught, all those Christian patterned life.
Yeah.
So it's part of, the whole parenting. So yes, it's already instilled, it's already there.
Yeah.
But outside home, there are people that, once they leave home, they just drop it there, carry everything and just, drop at home and become someone else.
Yeah.
Now, I would say at this point, this is where self-discipline comes in, because your parents would train you, the church would train you, the society would train you, you would learn from all aspects. But then it's now left for you to, decide, okay, I'm coming from this route. This is what I was taught. I'm going to hold on to this. I think I feel comfortable with it. But you see this one, I don't feel comfortable with it. I'm dropping it for whoever has it, whether church or my parents or whoever. I don't care. I don't need this.
Kind of personal conviction.
Exactly. So now this is you disciplining yourself to say, okay, yes, I'm from a Christian home. I don't do this. Coming from home, I don't do this. I will still hold on to this.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Then aside self-discipline, consciously, or will I say subconsciously, there are just things that when, I don't know for other people, but personally for me, there are things that when I see, girls of my age, guys of my age doing, I just shout Jesus, like.
Okay. Did you have any aspect of things like, can you be a little bit specific?
Okay, just like what you said now.
Okay.
I have friends back in school when I was in university. I have friends that when they call their parents, mommy, my textbook is 15,000. Sister, what happened?
That's a popular story.
What happened? Sharing a textbook where they buy, now they talk 15K. But I know it's 2,000, 3,000. So why the extra money?
Extra money.
I'm not being judgmental.
Yeah, so because
exactly.
And the reason seems valid.
Very valid.
Yeah.
Everybody have their reasons for doing their own thing. A friend of mine will tell you, if you don't do that, her parents will never ever send her money except it's for school. So once she'll be like that. Her dad will always tell you, if you call me, better sum up everything and just say, because after then I'm not sending you money again. Do you understand? So she's like, once I'm seeing this opportunity, make I just kukuma collect the whole money once and just day my day. Anything that happens after that, I'm on my own. I'm like, okay, fine, I get. It's understandable, because if you don't do that, you know how school can be now, billing here and there, you won't be able to like cope and the rest. But for me now, that came from a place where I can easily call my mom or my aunt or my uncles and be like, school said I should do this. This is the particular price. I don't know, will I say I'm kind of privileged, because if I tell my mom, mommy, it's 20,000, out of Obiabara being merciful, she will add extra.
Okay, so you have a different scenario.
Exactly, she will add extra money for me. Okay. So now I don't personally have reasons of lying to tell her, it's 50K when it's 30K. There's no need for that.
So I even said that some parents are different because they are making them to lie because of a lot of
the way they are patterned. Do you understand? And that's like, how will I say, them being kind of stiff.
Yeah.
You already know that your parents are like this, so you just have to like find a way around it to like follow them. Do you understand?
So that means there is an underlying issue parentally.
Yes. Parents, they do contribute to the whole situation.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. And I would say I also had a lot of experiences along that line, whereby you will hear people saying the same thing just exactly. If they don't actually say is this amount or add other things, they are not going to respond to them. And so I see it as an issue that is coming from the parents not being able to, understand their words.
Yeah.
Okay, whereby it's as if my sincerity is
It's
being
not
taken for
meaningful,
it's taken for granted. And so since it's taken for granted and they can't respond, let me just dance to their tune, thereby making these young people to lie, even go against the rules that they have. How do you think that we can solve this issue? How do you think that there can be a kind of easy going collaboration between parents? I know that they have their own fault. What can you suggest that these parents should be doing, in order to establish a kind of relationship that will make these ones be able to confide in them, trust them, and they as well trust their words?
Okay. From my own little idea, we come from African homes. We know how strict parenting can be. Exactly. And the rest of it. And most African parents, that moment you offend your parents at home, they will remind you this verse of the Bible that says, parents, children obey your parents in the Lord. Forgetting that even the same Bible said, parents, do not anger your children.
It's not even the same Bible, it's in the same
I'm just saying, yes, it's the same passage. So they'll just pick what they feel like they want and leave the rest for the Bible. But it shouldn't be like that, actually. For me, I feel like, yes, know when you can actually be a strict parent and your children can still confide in you. You don't need to, you shouldn't be a parent. Well, how would I put it? You shouldn't be a parent when the children see you there, everybody's speaking to their heel. Mommy's back, daddy's back, everybody have just disappeared all of a sudden. It should be, mommy's back. Be like, mommy, this is what happened today. This is what happened. This is how I'm feeling. Your children should be very much comfortable around you. And you still put that discipline in them that when they remember that they're coming from this place, that, no, I don't do this at home, so there's no need of even doing it when I'm not at home. So that they can still have that, confidence and trust when they come back home, that when they talk to you, you'll be like, okay, I know, my child cannot do this because you know how you brought up the child.
And you are still in communication.
Exactly. They still fall back to tell you, mommy, this is what I did. I know I'm wrong, but I don't know how it happened, but I'm so sorry. And them being able to apologize and, tell you as a parent, a mother, you should be able to okay, fine, you defaulted, accepted. You are still going to get your punishment, but it's not going to be as hard as it would have been if you didn't tell me. Do you understand? So now you just make it mild, but then they should have the sense of humor that, yes, I made a mistake and I have to serve my punishment. Do you get? So I'll just basically say our parents should just try and loosen up a little bit when it comes to parenting, so that your children can be able to communicate with you without having any form of fear, and you and them in return would be able to have confidence in the kind of children they brought up. That even when they are not home, you can confidently tell other parents or people around, I know the child I raised. Even if her life is going haywire, she will definitely call me to tell me, mommy, this is what is happening. Because for me, there's nothing as beautiful or as nice as calling your mom and be like, mommy, this is what is happening. This is what I'm facing in school. Please pray for me. Help me. I need assistance. I want to come home. In fact,
sorry to cut you short. I do interact with young people. Sometimes they mention something like, this thing I'm even telling you now. My mom doesn't even, my mom that is even very close to me does not know about it. And it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a very big problem. It suggests that there's something wrong with the parenting. I was speaking with a friend yesterday night that based in UK. I was trying to encourage him in, engaging in more of these talks because, there's a kind of source where we came from. And so it can impact on people. And we are talking about this issue of parenting. It seems as if before you get married, the way they have marriage course or marriage seminars, they do that in different
churches,
churches and Christian circles.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that they should have something that like a parenting degree, because something that is kind of systematically arranged to help them understand the concept of parenting. Because you see, knowledge, when we talk about knowledge, we're talking about getting information.
Yeah.
When we're talking about understanding, we're talking about, cognitively, understanding the concept of the information you receive so that I can be able to apply it in different scenarios or in different generations.
Yeah,
understanding continuous. That the Gen X, the Gen Y, the Gen Zs, they are different generations. How can I be able to pass this value across to this one and achieve my purpose without these people, becoming wired, seeing me as someone that they cannot confide into, someone that will not understand their generation. You get?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Now, I'll use myself an example.
Very important. I think I prefer that.
Sometime, that was like towards the ending of last year, I had this discussion with my mom. I graduated from UNN last year. So my mom was like, when are you going for service? Won't you go for service? I said, Mommy, I will go for service. She said, when? I said, I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't tell you this is when I want to go for service. But I know that I would go before the year runs out. That's like, I was talking about this year, before 2025 runs out. She picked an offense, like, seriously. Somebody I was having discussion with, her voice started going up. Before I knew it, she went, because, we were actually in my auntie's house. That was during Christmas period. Okay. She now called her two sisters. You people should come and hear what God is saying. She said she will not go for service. That was not what I said. That was not what I said. I said, Mommy, but that was not what I said. She didn't even allow me to finish. She was like, see this girl, what do you mean you will not go for service? Everybody, her voice was just going up. So my aunt now came and was like, why wouldn't I go for service? And I told her auntie that this is not what I said. That I said I would go for service, but I'm not definite. I don't know when, but I know that yes, definitely I would go sometime next year before the year runs out. Yeah. She was like, okay, why won't you go immediately? Now she asked why, which my mom didn't even ask. So now I gave her the reason. This is what I want to do. You've always known that this has been my passion. Yeah. So now I'm done with school, this is the time for me to do it before going for service. Yeah. And this is why. John is like, I categorically stated it out. And she was like, okay, that she thinks she understands. She now asked, she was like, won't it affect you, like you doing this before going for service? Won't, school hold you? Or maybe, I said, no, it's not going to affect that. So far as school has released you, your name is out and everything, you can now go at your own pace whenever you want, because already your name is with NYSC, like it's already definitely that you're done, you're graduated. She was like, oh, okay, no problem. So now she understood it. She was able to ask, and that is because she personally, she's not, I would say my aunt is not really that strict. She relates with young people because she's a nurse. Okay. So having student nurse around, because she's like a high nurse, she's a professional nurse. So having student nurses around, she knows how to interact with young people. Unlike my mom, she doesn't really get it. So my aunt was able to understand and now told my mom, okay, that she understands where I'm heading to, that actually that there's no need of rushing me and, the rest of it. Now, I said all this to say this. You don't handle, just like you said, we are all in different generations. You don't handle a Gen Z or try to bring up a Gen Z the way they brought you up, you that is in the millennium generation. It won't work. It's not, the truth of it's not going to work. All those, would I say, all those things you're trying to avoid, all those being overprotective and everything. When you begin the soap, it will wrap under your nose. It's gonna happen. I'm telling you, literally, all those things you're trying to avoid, it's definitely going to happen under your nose without even you knowing that this thing is happening. So just like you said, personally, I even feel like churches, organizations, they really need to bring in parenting as a course. It's very necessary because it would help a lot of homes.
To help.
Like it will really go a long way. First of
help.
all, understanding that your generation and that of your child is not the same thing. So there is definitely going to be like this gap, this bridge between you two, especially when, for instance, parents now that weren't able to give birth on time. They married on time, but they didn't give birth on time. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the bridge is definitely going to be there.
Yeah.
It's just being able to like maneuver it, find a way around it, and not make the child, not make it very, very obvious.
More of not being rigid in your pattern or in your way
kids.
of trying to raise your kids. Being able to adjust,
balance it actually,
adapt and still achieve
what you want.
I think that's more of a kind of problem, because most of our parents, they are like, Otodinambo, Oduba, Ogadigide.
Ancient and modern.
That kind of mindset. And so when you are trying to bring in concept, that is prevalent to your generation too, they are like,
Exactly. When did they
give birth to you, that we are trying to now teach them.
Yeah.
But it's not like that. I remember this Bishop Mike Okong was saying that older generations should learn to listen to younger generations.
Yeah.
As much as younger generations
should also listen
to.
Exactly.
That's trying to strike
a balance. Yeah.
Because there are things that God unleashes in dispensations that we are not in time past. You understand? So if you talk about the Jesus coming, it was prophesied in the Old Testament, but the people that experienced it were in the time that Jesus was there. So he was telling them, blessed are you people. You understand? They are saying, blessed is the paps that gave birth to you. He said, no, blessed are you because you are privileged to hear the things that prophets desired.
Before,
they desired to look into these things, but they were not privileged. You understand? So I believe that if we can be able to really look into this parenting issue, I believe that those that are watching us, that even some parents, they'll be like, these people have remembered us today. Because I can relate with the issue of obey your parents in the Lord. Obey. And, when you are emphasizing on your own part, and then you are leaving the other part undone. Jesus does not like things that are unbalanced. You understand?
You don't do half and leave half.
Yeah. So even in terms of submission, most times you see men, they are like wives.
Submit to your husband. Forgetting that.
And they don't know that it's a two-way thing. It is a two-way thing. There is a role the man is meant to play towards the wife, and the wife is meant to play towards the husband. So if you're always emphasizing your own, that means you are selfish. You understand? You are emphasizing your own without understanding that. Because talking about parenting still, because this is a very huge topic, we can't exhaust it. Talking about parenting and how it relates to, young people and career. I have a friend while I was in the university, and his passion was to study, I think that was computer science. But the father is an engineer. And so for some reasons, best known to him, maybe he wanted him to take over, he wanted to pass down this thing to him. Not being able to understand the unique expression of that child, he kind of, I don't want to say whether he forced him or something like that. And he went on to read the same course. And obviously he didn't do well. He was devastated, and after school, he still have to go back. Now the parent now understood by experience, seeing that this my child did not do it, see the result he came out with, see, he didn't do well in school. So they now decided to listen to him. So what they would have done since, they are now made this young man
wasted years.
Have a wasted year. So he's a little bit, apart from saying that maybe God is involved in certain things, to me, if they understood this thing earlier on, they wouldn't have made this mistake. If they understood parenting in terms of understanding the uniqueness and allowing your children, to, choose their career. I don't know whether you have any experience along that line.
Okay. I can actually relate to this because, like, while growing up, I've always been, I've always been inclined to take, like, I just find myself maneuvering gadgets without even reading manuals, getting to fix them and the rest of it. So according to my grandma, she was like, there, she's still calling me an engineer, actually. But as I was growing up, I knew that my calling was not engineering in any way, form, or in fact, sciences wasn't even my thing at all to start with.
Yeah.
So, but then after secondary school, I wanted to go to a computer school in Abuja, but my mom declined. So she said no, that it's not a formal education. Formal education in her word. So, and it was a big struggle because actually, yes, my mom actually helped in my career choice a little bit because at some point I was confused when I was in school.
Which is a normal thing.
Yes. So, but after I got settled in what I wanted to do, we started having, this back and forth with the whole tech career stuff. So she was like, it's not a formal education. You have to go to the university, in quotes. I said, okay, no problem. So for me, I don't know. I didn't want to go to university. So I was like, you know what? Let me just run any course. So far as I know I won't solve maths, it's not going to give me headache. Just any course. And I told that mom, in fact, find the course yourself. Any course you say, I will do.
This is really funny.
Let's just go to school. As far as it's going to, it will make you happy, no problem. Just find the course. I'm going to go to school. So, but would I say God kind of intervened after everything? First of all, I wanted to do psychology, but for some reasons, I omitted biology in my JAMB distant registration. So they're like, I can't do psychology. That was after I already wrote JAMB and everything. That was towards my post-UTME.
All right.
So my tutor was like, you didn't do you didn't do biology in JAMB, so you need to switch. And that was, I think, very almost close to like 1 or 2 weeks for me to write post-UTME. That was when I figured out that issue. So I was like, now wow, to come and start thinking of another course to do now. We started looking for, and I ended up in sociology and anthropology.
Wow.
I switched from psychology to sociology. It is still other social sciences. Yeah. So me, I didn't even know. I just know which course did you put? Sociology. I don't even know what they are doing, what their career job, their line. I don't have any idea. I just know that yes, it's sociology that I applied for, and I got it in UNN, and I started school. So it was while along the line I started saying, oh, okay, that what I'm doing actually isn't as bad as I thought it would be, because initially, don't forget that my mindset was just, let's just go to school and come out. Do you understand? But along the line, while in school, I noticed that, okay, under sociology, that there are some other aspects of sociology that is still connected to my tech part that I've always had passion for. I was like, you know what, fine, it's time to get serious. I think I'm beginning to enjoy this thing. Do you understand?
So, and this one it favored you. And what about many others that it didn't favor?
Yeah. So me, I started enjoying it, and I took school serious and every other thing. So now there are people that it won't favor. I personally have a friend. She didn't want pharmacy, but her parents say it's pharmacy you will do.
Must be a pharmacist.
Exactly. You have to,
I don't know,
by all means, form or manner. She said, okay, though she's a brilliant somebody, both art and science, she's good at it. But that was not what she wanted. Like, she didn't even see herself working. She was like, you know what? She was like, when she was telling me, she was like, that she didn't even have the energy to argue with her parents. That she's just going to go and get the degree for them and give it to them and go after what she wants. And for me, it's not nice, because first of all, you're making your child waste so many years. Energy, resources, everything it's being wasted. And it's not ideal. I feel like being from this part of the world, the country where our economic system is not really stable, we should be more reasonable, not even waste resources than waste resources, and
and then still go back to that thing you would have done initially.
What you would have just gone straight. You went
round.
Exactly.
And still came back to the same spot.
So it's legit not making sense. Our parents should be able to strike a balance when it comes to children, like their children's career choice. I've always been, and in fact, I tell anybody that cares to listen to me, when I become a mother, there are things we'll be doing in my household. For instance, we'll be doing meetings in the sense that both my husband, the kids, I'll call you. What do you want to do? What is your career choice? By then, I've already observed you to know where you're heading to. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now, for instance, if any of my child should, I see that they are very good in athletics, let's say playing football, running, all those stuff, I'll be like, okay, fine. Do you want to continue with this
line,
or you have something else? Now, if I see that, okay, maybe they want to, let's say, do that, still go in the athletic way, I'm going to strike a balance. Now, this is where my role as a parent come in. I have to do researches of schools where you have formal education and you still help people go through the athletic role. Do you understand?
Yeah. And there are things like that.
Exactly. Oh, there are. You just have to sit down and do your research. Even if not in this part of Nigeria, but they are definitely. So now all I'll just have to do is like do the research, weigh your option and ours, and know the one that will be better off for you. Now it's not left to us to come and tell you, okay, sweetheart, fine, I've seen that this is what you love doing. You're going to do it, but at the same time, you would go to school. So now you're doing both school and athletics. Now it's a win for everybody.
It's a win-win
for
both parties.
As a parent, I did well. As a child, you did well.
You are giving wisdom. You are giving wisdom.
So it's a win for everybody. I'm not losing out. You're not losing out. Resources are not being wasted.
Oh my God.
It's being used very well, judiciously. Do you understand? So now the balance is already there.
It's already strong.
So you wouldn't. So if anything, now say peradventure, but I know the child is going to do well because that's what they want. So, but if in case things go wrong, you know that I played my part as a parent. So it was definitely coming from your end because you said this is what you wanted, and we did this and still added this for you.
So they can't really blame.
You cannot even. They can't. You cannot because obviously
all like these situations whereby these ones now say that it's my parent, it's my father or my mother that caused it. I told them this is what I want. So you say I should go for this. Exactly. Have you seen it now? You'll be speechless.
Exactly.
You don't know where to. So I think just like you said, parents should be able to, look inwards, right? And they themselves need to also get some training.
Yeah.
That we should be able to help them to identify, because it's identification, to identify what is in this child, in which aspect is it doing. So if you're not knowledgeable enough, you won't be able to guide them properly. Let me assume that it may not be your role in terms of you are not in that particular field where you are probably a guidance or a counseling kind of, because they have guidance and counseling in every school.
Yeah.
And I don't really think it's that functional. Please, you can correct me if
most schools it's not functional.
Because if it is, there are many mistakes that we wouldn't have done. I know people that entered into science class and then while they're already in SS2, they now discovered that I can't do this science class, so they went back. You understand? And it's painful. They have guidance and counseling in that school. I had in my own school. They were not really, somebody said it did not come to us. Even those that came, you are meant to make this thing,
easier for the
kids. Like you are meant to make this announcement. Please, if you know you are having this thing, please come and meet us.
Not even just announcement, because most guidance and counselors are like teachers. Do you understand? So you have the results, the booklet of kids. So you should be able to go through it and be like, okay, you, I want to see you in my office. For I told you I had issues in secondary school when it comes to career choice. Now this is my story. I said then now everybody, what do you want to be? Medical doctor. Me too. I joined my friends, medical doctor, medicine and surgery. So and after in junior secondary you do everything. SS1 you will do everything. I think is it 18 or 20 courses? I can't really remember. But in my SS2, I now went into sciences. Now see the irony. I'm good in biology and chemistry a little bit. But physics was my major problem. I was always having F, like in capital letter, no matter what I read. Physics will always be an F. Then sometimes maths, narrow escape.
So these are indications.
So I'll come with a D. Sometimes maybe the term I put in very serious effort, I'll enter C. Myself, I'll even be happy with myself because I know I put in so much effort. So this thing happened first term SS2, second term SS2. After I can remember after our exams, my physics uncle called me to the chemistry lab. I can remember Uncle Bush. That's what we call him in school. He was like, "Godin, what are you doing to yourself? I said, Uncle, how? He said, come and see your script. Like, do you know you even made effort this term? That is why you're even like this. That other terms, Shay used to see your result. I said, yes, Uncle. He said, but do you know that effortlessly you're doing well in art? That he was not telling me that I taught you people in SS1. I usually see people's results. That you were always killing it in art, like effortlessly for some reasons. He was not like telling me accounting, you always first. You didn't even like, you don't struggle with them. Even sometimes when you don't even read, what's come to us, you'll be in second. But see, he was like, come, what are you doing in science class? I said, Uncle, medicine and surgery. He said, what do you mean? So are you trying to tell me that other people in other professions are not succeeding? I said, Uncle, no, but this is what I want. He said, at this point, it's not about what you want.
What's best for you?
Look at your results. I'm telling you, like, if you continue like this, you told me clearly, if you decide to continue in sciences, he was like, I'm not cursing you. I'm telling you the reality. You would fail WAEC and come back for receipt. Your mates will leave you and enter the university. And he was like, I don't want that for you. He went as far as telling me to give him my mom's number self. So that's exactly. So that was when my mom too now stepped in. My mom was like, I've been telling her, but she doesn't want to listen. So at this point, nobody even cared what I wanted anymore.
This is the battle for destiny.
They just carried me. You know what? I carry your lock and your chair. You're going to art class because that is where you're good at. There's no need of wasting your mom's money, stressing your brain over something you know that it's obvious you're not good at. So help yourself ahead of time. So
should we suffice it to say that most of the schools, we are just interested in our school fees.
Exactly.
And not about the becoming of these ones. Because I can remember the late crusader, Gani Fayemi, of blessed memory. I remember it was the headmaster, his headmaster, that gave him a letter one of those days. Said, give this to your father. When he gave it to the father opened it. He said, your son is going to be very good in law. Push him along these lines. And Fayemi rose up to be one of the greatest lawyers. Not just lawyer, son. He rose up to that particular, echelon, in the, when it has to do with law, in Nigeria. He was known for that. And who was party to it? The headmaster. He was able to identify. So I think there's this place of family has a role. Identification, preservation, where you teach your children culture, where you teach them self-worth and other things. So there is an educational aspect that the family
has to play,
the parents has to play. That's why I said, I think there should be a degree, parenting college. With
certificates for that matter.
Yes, because it's going to help a lot. We are saying it, and I think those that are already ahead of us, I know we are young people that God has given grace, and some knowledge. There are people that are ahead of us that can also open these kind of colleges, and help young people that are coming up that want to become better parents, to be able to actually play that role effectively by, garnishing them with the knowledge that they need to be able to lead their children onto glory. I think we have been able to really touch, we can't exhaust it on this parenting issue, but we've been able to gain lots of light, and I believe our viewers as well. And so we are going to, draw the curtain on this episode, and we are going to see you in the next episode. Remember, this is Relationship Tales, enlightening the common man.